Well, hello and welcome to a new show for us, Your Home in Portugal, with me, Carl Munson, and Ben Austin.
Good
I'm
evening.
Silver Coast here in Portugal, and Ben is in central Portugal, I believe, tonight. How you doing, Ben?
Yes, I'm doing just fine, thank you. How are you, Carl?
Very well, very well. And good to hear that our guest tonight, Carl Hyde, is joining us. He's just backstage getting ready. He'll be with us in just a moment. A little bit of an intro to what we're doing. We'll do a little bit of real estate industry news here in Portugal. Our special guest and with his featured property as well. So we'll show you some beautiful property here in Portugal and a bit of industry innovation. I've got the lads from Damp Guard. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? when you live in
Incredibly so.
when you live in Portugal, it's good to have a mold and damp solution, and they're promising to shake up the industry here, and how this is done. And we'll talk to them about their system, which is called PIV, is the acronym for that. I know other systems are available. Some people use vinegar and bleach and things like that, and try and learn the arcane arts of ventilation in Portuguese houses. This
You
is a
don't want to
proper
do that. It's horrible for your hands.
Indeed, exactly. We've got to keep our hands nice, haven't we, with the
Exactly.
line of work that we're in. Right, so good to see you. And you've got a little bit of industry news for us, and we'll do this every week when we'll have a little bit of a catch up about what's going on with the real estate industry here in Portugal. And we'll bring Carl on in about 5 minutes from now. So, Carl, all good backstage. You enjoy your cup of tea back there, and Ben's going to let us know what's happening in the industry here in Portugal.
Yes, well, thank you very much, Carl. It's going to be confusing tonight, Carl and Carl, isn't it? I can see
It
a lot
is.
of back and forth happening.
You're in a nice Carl sandwich this evening, and all three of us
Oh,
from
God.
the agency, of course. So the agency that we'll tell you more about as well as these shows and the weeks unfold in front of us. Good evening to you, Jackie, as well. Who I know is well. I don't want to blow your cover, Jackie. Let us know where you are in your journey towards Portugal, if you will. Okay, so let's have a bit of that industry news then, if you will, Ben.
Industry news, right. This week, I've read something quite interesting, which is in Portugal, the amount of houses that were available on the market kind of peaked around 2020. And if you compare that to where we are today, there is 26% less on average, with some regions like Coimbra and Leiria going up to 50% less houses on the market. What does that really mean for people like us? It reinforces the idea that currently there is very high demand, very little supply. So we
Right.
could be looking at a dramatic increase in price, which is current with the narrative that we're seeing currently.
Right. Okay. Do you have a general view? And we'll ask Carl more about this as well. But what do you think? I mean, let's set the scene and let people know who we are. We're both fairly new to this industry, although we've been watching it keenly for well, I have for several years. You're quite the youngster coming into this industry. What do you make of it? What are your first sort of impressions, and what do you think is going on in the Portuguese real estate scene that you're hearing from more senior colleagues?
I think that when you live in Portugal, you can't help. It's such a big industry, and you go down the street. There's so many Remax signs, and there's so much of everything to do with real estate. You can't help but get involved in the industry and get curious and keep hearing things. It's such a reoccurring conversation point. You hear it in newspapers as well, with the housing crisis going on. Like we said, reinforcing that idea of very high demand, very little supply.
Yeah.
As a youngster coming in as well, it's a weird place to be, because the narrative for a lot of people my age is kind of, hey, when you get to your 30s and you get to your 40s, you're not going to be able to afford a house. So
Yeah.
it's a bit of a pessimistic view, but it's weird to kind of be in this balance of things at the moment.
Well, maybe we'll get some futurists on who will give us an idea of what they think is going to go on in 20, 30, 50 years hence. But let's get back to the present day. Thank you for that little nugget. Have you got any more? That sounded like my nickname for you, Little Nugget. That's not what I meant. The little nugget of industry news is what I was referring to.
We
Have
could,
you got any more? Have you got any more for us?
we could do that. We could come up with like very good radio names for ourselves. I'll be
I don't
Little
think
Nugget, and
Little Nugget is not a great name, quite frankly. But anyway, yes. What else have
on
you
a
got?
on a more optimistic note, sales for licenses for building have gone up by about 18% across the country. So that does mean that a lot more houses are going to be built over the next few years. What does this mean exactly for the prices? Does it mean it'll go down? Not necessarily sure. I don't think so personally. I'm quite pessimistic in that regard, because
Mhm.
when these houses are finished, they'll be evaluated that year at the average price of that market that year, not
Yeah.
at the price they are now. So are we going to get a bit? At most, we can expect prices to kind of regulate a bit from a year's time.
Right. Okay. So number of permits sold for construction is up at the moment. And I think that's been something to do with the Mais Habitation legislation that was being talked about. I mean, there's a political pressure, isn't there, to get houses built? Are you seeing any of that? Are you seeing any of the delivery or follow through on all the political promises that were made about building new houses in Portugal?
Actually, yes. I was in Leiria not too long ago, and everywhere I turned, there was a new crane. There was a crane coming up and things being built. So, in that regard, yes, there's definitely not just in this news, but you can see it yourself when you go through Coimbra, when you go through Leiria, when you go through Alcobaça, for instance. There's just cranes everywhere and things being built, which is quite reassuring.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the green lights of construction, cranes in the sky. Let's bring Carl, and he might want to respond to some of the news that we've shared. Then we'll do that every week that we're on. The basic format for the show is going to be industry news, a featured agent with a featured property, and then a bit of industry innovation. And tonight it's the fellas from Damp Guard, which is I don't know. It does what it says on the tin. That they might have to come up, add some adjectives in there and hype it up a bit more. But really, yeah, it does what it says on the tin. And they're promoting a system that stops damp and mold, filters out pollen, dust, and mold spores. The system it has an innovation of smart sensors for optimal air quality and its low energy use. In case you're worried about that, they'll be here to talk about that a little bit later on in the show this evening. Let's bring him onto the screen now. It's Carl Hyde joining us this evening. Good to see you there, Carl. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm looking a bit washed out, which I'm not happy about. I need all the help I can get to look good.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing considering we're going into winter now. It's nice to look like you've got a little bit of sun on your face because that feels like it's like disappearing.
I like to be painted with white paint, Carl.
How's your day been? And what have you been up to today in your line of work?
It's been a pretty normal day, to be honest with you. I mean, take the kids to school and do all that, get all that out of the way, and then just start going through emails, catching up with clients, chasing up various contracts and little bits and pieces like that. So there's always something to sort of nibble away at. There's always a problem in the background, a detail that's not been it's not been checked, but there's always some little bit of minutiae that needs sorting out. So that's what a lot of your day gets filled with, those kind of smaller things. And then other days you've no choice. You're out on the road with the clients, showing houses, doing viewings, meeting photographers and videographers and all this kind of thing. But today's been pretty straightforward. It's been a pretty slow one for me, nice and chilled.
Yeah. And this is the work of a real estate agent, of course. And Ben might like this analogy as a rugby player. It's like getting the ball across the line, and sometimes it's not all free flow, is it? And passing, it's a lot of little itty bitty bits to get. A lot
of dirty work needs to be done.
Dirty work, yes. All right.
Yeah, no, it is like that, and it's rarely, it's the reward. Obviously, I mean, we're all doing this to earn money, make a living and pay our bills. But the main reward, doing that, when you do a deal and you get your commission, those days are few and far between. I mean, it's not an easy job to do. So when they do come along, but there is, like, in any process, any sale, any purchase, anything like that, there's 100 steps. There's 100 little steps, and there's always problems. So
yeah,
you just got to be prepared for it.
Right. Okay. And for those of people who don't know you, what's the area you specialize in? And have you got a nice featured property for us that we can show on the screen, the sort of the quality of the work that you're sharing with people around the world with the agency?
I do have a property to show, but I think Ben will be able to speak more about it than I will.
Okay.
I've sent you a little video there, a little Instagram thing that I think you can show.
Oh, cool. Okay, thank you.
Before that, I mean, I'm sort of in the greater Lisbon metropolitan area, so I live just south of Lisbon, in the Setúbal Peninsula, Margem Sul, South Bay, whatever you want to call it. But I sort of 90% of what I do is kind of between Sintra, Cascais, that side, and then across to Setúbal, with a lot of it being focused on where I live in Margem Sul, and then just Lisbon to Cascais, because there's so many different places there that people want to live, people on different budgets, different requirements, that kind of thing. So it's a real mix.
Yes, and of course with colleagues that the three of us have working closely with the agency. There are the areas of specialism, but we can help people pretty much all over the world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we talk about the agency, I was saying this the other day to a client who were asking me what we offer and what's different about us. And I think one of the key things is that our agents do come from all over the world. You know, we've got people from Italy, Germany, Holland, UK, US, Brazil, and all that. So we've got people with all these different life experiences from different countries, different cultures. So we've got different languages, you know, small things like that that really do add up. So, you know, if somebody gets in touch with me from Germany, I mean, okay, they probably will speak English, but I know I've got a couple of German colleagues that can sort of help along the way. You know, Russian speakers, Ukrainian speakers, as I just said, Italian and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's what sort of marks us out as quite unique, I think. I don't think any other agency really does that, and it's just the way it's sort of grown organically from where it started. The team that I was on started with another agency, and it's we moved across to the agency like 2.5 years ago. So I do think that's quite unique. It's not to say that other agencies don't have foreign nationals working for them. Of course they do, but ours is like all that. I mean, of course we've got Portuguese nationals here as well, but people from all over the world, and it's really concentrated.
So keen to help you out here in Portugal, finding your home here in Portugal, us and our colleagues at the agency. And something to share with you then. This looks a little bit special. This is a little plan the two of you are hatching together, I think. Whilst I bring it onto the screen, tell me more about it, if you will.
Ben.
I'll take over with that. So this is a property in central Portugal. It was built in 1885. It's a big mansion here, and the chateau even, built by a French person called Duparquet. And Duparquet came over in 1885 to supervise the building of the railways in central Portugal.
Really?
Had this that's when it was built. Had this, sold it now. It's been passed down from generation to generation. The current owners are looking to move closer to Porto, to be closer to their family. That's the story behind this, really.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's incredible.
Some incredible history. And presumably, I guess he's like the Isambard Kingdom Brunel in terms of British terms, like a great railway engineer and innovator, and having a home built for his and his family's purposes, as a reward, or whilst the railway work was going on. Do we know?
I believe it was whilst the railway work was going on.
They were having this built at the same time. Okay, so this can be yours. What else can you tell us about it? Because it's saying coming soon here. This is a bit of a teaser, I think.
Yeah, we currently got all the paperwork going through the processing team at the moment, so got to wait. It's, as you can imagine, with older houses such as this, the land is divided into different sections and everything, so it's going to take a while to get all of that processed and all of that approved for sale.
Yes.
But when it does, it's a massive property. It comes with 6 hectares of land as well.
Right, okay. Can we say more about the location? I mean, you've told me a little bit about it. I don't know how much of that can be shared publicly at this stage. What can you say?
I can not go into specific. It's near Mielida. I think once we get everything processed, we can say a few more details.
I did try. Okay.
I would describe it as like a fantastic country home. It's a huge space. It does need some renovation work, no doubt about it. It also functions as like a hotel, guest house as well. It can be in events, or it can be used for events, weddings and things like that. It currently is. So it's got a lot of potential, and with the amount of land that it's got too, and other outbuildings that do need some attention. I mean, some of them are basically derelict. What if somebody wanted to do something in the tourism sector, wanted a project, wanted to make some investment in north central Portugal kind of thing, then this could be for them. It's got loads of space, and the house itself, it's just one of those fantastic old places where you walk into it and it's just like going back in time. All this ornate cornicing and the original wooden floors, which sort of creak and breathe, and as you're walking across them, it's something special. So unique in that way.
Yep, very good. So great opportunity coming to the market soon. Keep in touch with Ben and Carl on that one specifically. That's great, isn't it? That pool out the back there. Anything else you want to share with us, Carl? I know you'll be coming back to talk with us in due course. You'll be sharing beautiful properties with us in the coming weeks and months on this new show, Your Home in Portugal, helping people to settle here and find a beautiful place to live. Anything else you want to share with us before you go? We've got the lads just joining us in a moment from Damp Guard with a revolutionary product for dealing with damp and mold here in Portugal.
I'm gonna go in a minute and I've got to serve dinner for the kids. They just got back in from jiu-jitsu. That's what all the background noise was. But just on what Ben was saying before, I was watching the show from the start and about the amount of properties on the market. I mean, there's lots of reasons for that.
Yes.
First of all, you got demand outpacing supply, which is just, obvious. If things are coming onto the market and going quickly, then there's just going to be less there. And then, historically, and it is changing. I've just seen Bobby comment there, so he'll know a lot more about that than I do. But, permits and regulations make it not so easy. It's not a quick process to get new projects off the ground. And then you've got things like construction costs, labour costs. So first of all, there's a labour shortage. Yeah, and then the labour costs are high, materials costs are going through the roof. So you're seeing perhaps more and more higher end stuff being built, and less of the stuff perhaps at the entry level of the market, whatever price you may think that is, depending on where you live. 200,000, 300,000. There's not going to be a lot of that. Projects and developments are going to be, priced much higher. So there's lots of reasons like that, and it all kind of adds up to make it. A bit difficult, if you're looking for properties for people, and I experience it every day. If somebody wants something specific, once you've exhausted the market, you just got to keep checking, and it can take time because it's not a wash with properties. It just isn't.
Interesting times. Yeah, Bobby liking the name Your Home in Portugal. Might we be expecting a lawsuit here? I'm Bobby O'Reilly, of course, of Dynasty Homes, of Herdad de Mayo, and Your Home. You are HOME as well. So yes. Okay, we shall see. I'll keep an eye on the post and my email. Great to see you this evening, Bobby. We'd love to have you on the show with us, keeping us abreast of your developments. And we're looking forward to being broadcasting live from Herdad de Mayo soon as well. Great to see you on the show this evening. Yes, nice name indeed. Great. All right, cheers, Carl. Thank you very much for being here this evening. We're going to go to our guests from Damp Guard in just a moment. So thanks a lot. Enjoy your evening.
Lovely, you too. Bye, fellas.
All right, thanks very much indeed. Right, there goes Carl Hyde from the agency there. And we've got two very special guests now. I've got Jay and Roll from Damp Guard. So let's bring them onto the screen now and sandwich them in between us. Good evening.
Hello, Carl. Definitely a sandwich. We're also a little bit in a sandwich because our screen is that small. So
think of yourselves as cavity insulation at the moment. So very, very good to see you. How are you this evening?
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you for being in the show, Carl. Very nice. And it's really great that we can talk about mold and condensation. Well, not really great,
it's not the sexiest subject in the world, but it is really important here in Portugal. It's a subject, it's a difficulty, it's a challenge that some people are very shocked by when they arrive here, foreigners especially. Portuguese have grown up with this climate and to some extent know how to manage the climate. But I think there's a little bit of extra technology available in the form of Damp Guard to help with this and the expectations of some of the foreigners that are buying houses here. So, if you will, tell us about the service you're offering and how it came to be.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. So we started to we both have a rental here in Portugal, and we had so much mold in this rental. So we both say this have to be better. And we saw a solution in England for like 50 years. They have the same solution at 1 million households. It's the humidity in England is such a way almost the same as in Portugal. So why not creating the whole atmosphere with a PIV system over here? And what I said, it is a PIV system, what we are importing to Portugal. We are, as I can see in the market, the only one to do that. and PIV is positive input ventilation. So it's a system created to make air pressure into the house, and air pressure comes everywhere.
Right, yes. And you say it stops damp and mold, it filters out pollen, dust, and mold spores, because some people are actually terrified about that sort of thing, aren't
Yes,
they? And it works on smart sensors for monitoring and making the air quality optimal in the building.
Yes.
And low energy use, because some people might imagine an active system like this might be quite energy demanding as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So tell us more about how it actually works and why PIV is different to. There are other systems on the market, aren't there? But you were saying this has a 50-year history in the UK, and it is new in this environment, in the Portuguese environment.
Sure, I can jump right in here.
Hello, good evening to you. How you doing, Jim?
Yeah. It works in a way like it takes air from the outside, and we usually install the system in the loft if available. And then we push the air, the system pushes the air into the house, and this way it makes some pressure inside, just enough for air not to be stalled anywhere or stale. So it will move the air in all small rooms, in living rooms, kitchens, and then it'll automatically go out through natural cracks in the construction, or in you have the ceiling,
doors, windows.
Yeah, exactly. From the exhausts, also in the bathroom and kitchen, or trigger vents in windows. So all the Portuguese houses nowadays, even the new built ones, they are built for natural ventilation, which means that's perfectly optimal for our system. So it takes advantage of the way the Portuguese are already building the system. And as you said, it's not really available here until now. We haven't been able to figure out why. But the clients we've helped have been very, very happy so far. And we see it's really a good fit for the Portuguese market.
That was going to be my next question. Why? Why, if it's so good? And presumably you as well, Ben.
You know, the funny thing is we did about 10 installs, and for multiple reasons, this system is so highly preferable here in Portugal. So there's one client says my allergy is almost gone when I'm in the house. The CO2 levels are going down. The mold isn't there anymore. There's no condensation on the windows. It's so many more things. There's another client who says the AC, it's not running this whole summer. It didn't run because you don't need it with a nice stream of air in the room. So it saves a lot because our system, the running cost is €10 per year.
Okay, that's not
so that's amazing, and it's such a no-brainer. We so believe in this system.
Yes.
And you know, with renovation, because Ben, you talk about some more renovations, and a lot of new builds, they have like a VMC system in it, but you have to create a lot of ducts and fake ceiling per room. This is only take like one hole in the ceiling of 22 centimeters, and our certified electrician is going to do the electrics in the loft, and that's it.
Okay, we'll come back to the installation. Ben, any questions? Sorry, I've monopolized our guest so far.
No, it's fine. I just wanted to get it. Just get it in my head. It's a system that promotes circulation through the house.
Yes, correct.
Air circulation
and air pressure. Yeah,
and pressure.
Yeah, it's more air pressure because it goes via a vent, and it pulls natural air out of the sky and goes into your house. So it's the air pressure is building up slightly.
It's incredible. I can already think of 3 different places where I'd need this.
Yeah,
it's
just
surprising. Oh, sorry.
If people are zooming in here, if they're able to see on the screen, that gives you some idea of how the installation works on the illustration.
Yes, correct. Correct. So what you can see is you see the machine upstairs in the attic. This is a loft, and the loft is the space in between the ceiling and the roof. And over there, the air is very dry, and but there are so many natural cracks in the loft, so that our system can pull the air to the inside via HEPA filters. So you have all year round natural air, fresh air in your house. And that's also an advantage that I forgot to say. When you have a second house, you can run this system all year long. It's built to make all year long running. And when you are home, you don't have the musky smells anymore. You just have really clean air.
Well, some people think that's just a part of living here. You're basically saying that's not
Yeah, you
necessary.
get used to it. Yeah.
That's true, though, isn't it? I mean, that is how, that's almost like a sort of cultural expectation. But
Yeah.
you're bringing something new. The other question I had for you is, like, you mentioned a VMC, and this is PIV. What are the main differences? Could you highlight those again?
The biggest difference is that ours is one central unit that's placed on the loft that covers the whole house. The VMC system is also usually placed on the loft, but it has ducting to every single room in the house, and it has to go through the ceiling and into every room with the fake ceilings.
Yes.
And then it has an input and an output source for each room.
Right.
So it's way more complicated. It's a little bit more controlled per room, but it's also a lot more expensive to install because you need the whole renovation process.
Yes.
And the maintenance costs and the running costs are way, way higher than our system as well. VMC systems are required to be serviced once a year, and our system runs flawlessly for at least 2 to 3 years. And when we service it, we usually only need to change the filters, which is a very short process.
So a lot less intrusive in terms of installation. And
yeah, that really is. And again, VMC is also a good system, but yeah, for like 10,000 euros, you have the whole VMC, and then we don't talk about the whole renovation at itself, because you need like 500 meters ducting into your house. And yeah, our system is just it has a nice modern fan, and it runs all year long. It's you can compare it a little bit with an air cushion, where children are jumping off. You have like running air through all the cushion, and it escapes again. And that's also doing in your house, and it comes everywhere.
And that's how the air quality is being changed to people with allergies and so on, and sensitivities to air quality. That's how that effect is being brought about, because you're changing the and circulating the air in the environment.
Yeah, and it goes further, because we also have an extra surface to make fans behind the closets, and then air pressure will go into the closet and go out again via another vent.
Yeah, you see a lot of people here, they complain, even though they have VMC systems, they still, when they open their closets, they still find their clothes to be moldy.
Yes, the classic leather shoes that you put away.
That's it.
Well, that's one of the big advantages with our system. Like, just because of this small air pressure we are building into the house, now the air can circulate, and we just drill small vents into closets, so the air can flow naturally in and solve the problems inside closets and kitchen cabinets as well, if that's needed for the house.
Right, good. Any more questions, Ben, or may I continue? Because I've got.
It all comes from one device that you put in the loft.
That's true.
Yes, a loft, but we have also a second type, and that is for apartments or houses without a loft.
For basements or apartments, yes.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
Okay,
yeah, it really is.
Now, it is new, which means that there isn't a proven track record yet. A long one like in the UK of 50 years.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you will find a few people though who had Brits who moved here who has it installed for many years here, and are very happy with it.
Okay. Well, we need maybe bring them with you next time. And is that possible? If people are interested and want to work with you, can they speak to your satisfied customers? Because that's the way to really see that this is working, right? Is a word of mouth.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. They're really open for it. We want to have some in the show, but it's. Yeah,
another time we can
like their privacy.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, so best way to get in touch with you?
Just have a ring and just look at our website, www.dampguard.pt.
Okay, so that's a Pate address there, the suffix, all the W's, dampguard.pt. Anything else you want to tell us before you go, chaps?
Well, again, I wish I can have also a machine in this. I have now rental of 2023 and still has mold. So I'm now convincing my landowner to have this machine here because it's crazy.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
also the total cost of the system is quite low compared to other options here in Portugal. The other
Right.
options you have is usually one unit for a wall, and then you have to cover each room separately.
Yeah.
And that usually costs about €1,000 per room to cover. And a full VMC system is at least 10,000 plus. Our system, you can have the system installed, everything included for less than 3,000. So it's also very affordable to buy it.
Very good. Okay, thank you for telling us that. I have to ask this, Carl, says Jackie, if growing herbs indoors, does the system work as a filtration system? Have you had this use case before? Sorry, Carl, but I really need to ask.
Not really a filtration system because musky air, there's everything with musky air, all the bad bacteria and all the pollen and all the viruses are pushing away via natural cracks. So if you have plants in the house and with a little airstream, it's just do so much better for the plants with lots of fresh air.
Yeah, any stale air will be pushed out, but everything, it's only the air that comes from the outside that goes through the filters, if that's the question as well. Because it's in the loft usually, and then it's separated from the rest of the house.
Right. Okay. Well, special herbal requirements, I think, can be negotiated privately with you or consulted upon privately with you. Thank you for that. I'll let Jackie get in touch with you about that. And thank you for being here tonight and bringing this innovation to Portugal. Much needed.
Yes.
It does freak people out, doesn't it? You know, the whole mold situation. People are told, and then when they see the black dots on the wall for the first time, for some people that's just too much, and others learn how to live with it and manage it. But this is a system for really dealing with it. So we're glad to hear about it.
Really good also when you go on vacation, just briefly, because when you come back, you have still a fresh home when you come back, and you don't have to leave doors and open windows. So you can leave your house safely and come back to a fresh home still.
Very good, very good. Okay, so all the W's, dampguard.pt to find out more. Thanks, fellas. Jay,
I'm
sure we'll be talking to you again. Ciao. Right, there we go.
What an incredible system.
Yeah, I think that went fairly well tonight,
I'm
Ben.
genuinely shocked about that. So I didn't realize that I've got 3 places that I'm thinking of where that could be installed.
Well, I'm sure Jay and Roll are very happy to do a quote for your clients there. We're getting a thumbs up from backstage. Right, so we'll do this again next week. We are here weekly on a Monday, and we will have a bit of industry news. Austin's Real Estate Roundup. I think it's, I don't know if that's a dangerous acronym.
Austin's Real Estate Roundup. ARR.
All right, could be worse. And we'll think of something. And of course, featured agents, featured properties, and great innovations that you heard from DampGuard. DampGuard.pt. If you want to find out more about them, I think we'll have those chaps back soon because it's such an exciting idea and such a serious problem here. Sounds fab, says Jackie. Thanks, Cole. No, pleasure. Ben, a last word from you?
Last words. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Can't wait to start this again next week. We've got a really interesting feature coming in next week that I'm excited to put on the show as well.
All right,
so
yeah,
fingers crossed we can get that going.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that as well. So we will we'll wish you a great evening, and whatever it is, if you're having a little bit of a Portuguese tipple, a bit of Portuguese wine tonight, we're thinking of doing that as well, and maybe picking a particular fermentation to share with our guests and talk a little bit about Portuguese culture as well, because that's the whole point of being here, isn't it? And why we're so excited about sharing homes for people here in Portugal, because it is such a great place to live. We forgot to mention that tonight.
Well, we forgot to do it as well. But you are right. Taking the atmosphere, taking the culture. Tell you what, how about next week I'll try to do a wine from Central Portugal, one of my favourites. You could try to do one from the coast or
Combinado.
Around you.
It's a deal, mate. Okay, excellent. Thank you for tuning in to your home in Portugal. First of a weekly outing with the news, with the agents, and with the properties, and special news on how to take care of your home once you found it. Thank you very much. Take care, and bye for now. We'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.